I listened to that album yesterday, last
Mm.
night rather, and I was blown away by a couple of things. But how long have you been working with Jhené? Because that tune "Miss You" is
Yeah, yeah.
was amazing, and I heard you
Thank you,
talk
man.
about uh, losing both of your parents,
Hmm.
my condolences. I know you said that was, I think that was
Thank
in
you, man.
2017.
Yeah, for
Um,
mom. Yep.
yeah, so I wanted to know, is that your mom's voice on the
Yes.
okay.
That
So
was
that,
my sister and my mother. Yeah,
talking about seeing you on television.
on the TV. Yeah.
And yeah,
Hmm.
it floored me, and I was listening to you talk about that, and it just this song was a completely unique way that I've heard someone deal with loss like that,
Hmm.
just because it's not obscured, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of a theme of not only loss but celebrating what you had and what
That's
you still
exactly
have.
it.
Yeah, and
That's
I
exactly it.
yeah, I heard you
Yeah.
talk about that, and it was deep, man. I just uh when you realize you had strengths, and you can't realize
Hmm.
those strengths until that happens, and I was fascinated to hear
Absolutely.
you talk about it.
Absolutely, man. I had the biggest fear. I tell people all the time, losing my father in 2006, that was so weird for me. It's crazy, man. Like I was getting my third MTD bass built, which is my seven string. I was getting that bass built dedicated to my father, and I was planning to surprise him. And he died like, what was it, a month before it was finished, right? And when he got so sick right before he went into his coma, I end up just telling him like, Dad, I was getting a bass made for you. You know what I'm saying? And I remember after he died, I told Mike, I was like, I was discouraged. I was like, man, I don't even want it. And Mike was like, no, you're crazy. You're gonna play this bass. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I've written so many freaking songs with that bass, but you know, the thing is, man, I in that song, everybody has experienced loss, and all these years traveling, when my mom got sick, I was so afraid that one day I would be in Dubai or something like that, and I would get a call, and I can't teleport, I can't just show up there like I'm across the world. And for that to actually really happen to me, to be out here in Japan when it happened, it was something I didn't think I would be strong enough to deal with, but I was okay. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to translate that into music. And Janae, um, she could relate. She lost her brother to brain cancer, and um, I remember writing her. I DM'd her. She changes her number like every few months, and I DM'd her like, hey, I don't know if you could, but I wanted to see if you could just sing on this song dedicated to my mom and also my dad and my brother that died also back in the day. And she saw it like a month later and was like, of course, right? So shout out to Janae for that, because she, like she heard my cry, you know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget her doing that for me at all. Like we went to United Studios, that's the studio where Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole and Paul McCartney have recorded at. They're one of my favorite studios in LA. And I was going up there to play on some stuff for her and help her with some vocal. Nah, I wasn't even helping her with vocal stuff at that point. I was just going up there to play on some stuff. And she was like, let's do it now. And she went in there. I got video footage. And she just
Oh
went in there
wow.
and ripped it. Literally went and ripped it. And there's one run on the song that she does this soul jazz, like, when it goes back down to the B major seven. She came out of it's like a F, and she went. into the B major. It's theoretically, it's so like crazy that she heard that and she thought it was a mistake. She was like, wait, I maybe need to do that over. Meanwhile, I'm in the studio like, like I like literally when she did it, it was like I was getting blasted by like a missile. Like, and I'm screaming like, how did you even hear that? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I think I need to do that over. And I said, come out of the vocal booth. And I said, listen to this. And I was like, do you hear this? She was like, that wasn't wrong. I was like, no, like, are you kidding me? This junk is insane.
Wow.
It's just special, man. Special. So sorry, I veered off
No, I wanted to hear you talk about it because I was that record is really, I never heard anything like that. What you're on all those tunes in there. And I do have to ask, who's playing guitar on Dream? Because
that's Brandon Bay.
Good. Yeah.
He's ripping, ain't he? Yes.
Yeah. And I thought it might have been you, but then I just heard you say earlier you don't play guitar, or
I can fake it. It's about it.
Well, what was interesting was his command, that his lines reminded me of how you play. So I was like, man, is this you playing guitar? Because the touch was a guitarist. So I was like, it would make me annoyed if you were playing guitar that way.
Shout out to Brandon Bay, man. Brandon Bay is one of the most quiet, most underrated guitar players walking this earth. That brother, first off, I didn't even know about him until like I was getting ready to do that long tour in 2016 out here in Japan, and I was MDing it, putting the band together, and my homie Julian had told me about him, dude, and like I saw a video of him, I was like, okay, yeah, he's dope or whatever. When I finally got a chance to hear this guy, I was like, dude, where have you been? But he's like just quiet, humble Korean dude, just soft spoken, just really, like just chill. Man, that dude is one of the coldest, one of my favorite guitar players that I've ever played with. And I didn't play with every freaking body. Like that dude is insane, man.
I love the way he played, and I went looking. I was like, where I couldn't find the credit anywhere for that, and I was like, oh, must be you. I thought you were doing it.
No, that is Brandon, and I'm glad you said that, because I definitely filled out all the credits on the metadata. So they gotta change that, because that, I want people to know that is Brandon Bay on guitar, and he made that song. He's
killing it.
Like, especially the end, the solo he took and everything. It was like he tapped all the way into 1987. Like,
yeah, he was playing those changes perfect, beautifully, man. And those changes, much like you were just talking about with Jhené going from the F to the B, those changes are moving around, and you can't. They're not. It's not the kind of thing where you can where one run will cut it on three different places. Yeah. He was got it beautifully.
You can't just mess around with just one scale over one progression, assuming that it's going to work over it. Like, this isn't a relative thing. It was the actual change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he just was like, oh, but that's him though, and he'll just do it with a straight face. Like,
yeah, he was cascading all over just these beautiful beautiful contours of what he was doing.
His tone was perfect. The all the little like rhythm stuff that he was doing during the hook, everything, man. That dude is just nasty, man. He's nasty.